Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Market Insights with Linux, and welcome to the channel. If you're new, of course, I'm just starting out with this channel, so high chance you're new, unless you're coming from my other channel. But we're going to do a full update right here on Nvidia. All right, Nvidia is one of the stocks I analyze and I watch the most. A lot of volume, a lot of volatility generally. So wanted to give you my thoughts on the current situation. We're at a pretty crucial level technically, and I think fundamentally there's also some very crucial things going on, because that's usually how I approach my my analysis, my trading, and also my investing. We talk about the fundamentals first, and then we dive into the technicals, and there we also start out very zoomed out, and then we zoom in, and that way we get a good idea of the different scenarios and what is most likely. So that's what we're going to do. Now, fundamentally, the situation for Nvidia, basically since DeepSeek back in February, I think, hasn't been great. And then obviously the tariffs news also did Nvidia no favors. I mean, you can see right here, I think that crash of DeepSeek was right here at the end of January. After that, we were able to recover quite well. But then all the tariffs news came in, or at least the import tariffs themselves, and then we started to trend down quite a bit. And that is also zoomed out technically. I still think that Nvidia is in some sort of a downtrend here, even though I think we got a good chance right here at this level around $100, even though that's not confirmed yet, but we'll talk about that later. I think we have a good chance to actually bottom out and potentially get into our main, or at least my main price target, which is this level right here between 112 and 120. Not saying that we cannot rally higher than that, but ultimately, like we have a massive amount of confluences technically there, and also it's a high volume area, right? So that's also one of the areas where a lot of major traders and potentially funds want to cash out their positions, or it's just a higher likelihood that positions are exchanged there. But more on that later. So the tariffs right now still have a negative effect on Nvidia. Nvidia fundamentally is still an amazing company. So do I think it hurts it in the long term? Probably no, but short term it can still push the price down lower into this level right here, around $85. And we're talking about areas, right? So $85 is, in the area, but it's not the entire area. We basically have support all the way from 88 into $80, right? But 84, 83, that's kind of the main area. We did have some sort of positive data right now. Amazon came out that they're not changing anything about their data center plans, for which they use Nvidia chips as well, of course. So yeah, overall, the fundamentals, I would say, lean bearish still, or at least there is still quite a lot of uncertainty. That's also reflected with the volatility index, which has dropped down today, still trading very high. And then outside of that, we actually did see some recovery over the course of today with the S&P 500. We haven't seen the same amount of Nvidia recovery so far, but you can see that we are still holding support. We're still holding the yearly rolling VWAP. We're still holding this major support level around $96, $95. And that in combination with my personal belief at this point of time, and that is dependent on the fundamental developments, of course, but that I do think the S&P 500, the general stock markets, are going to be able to hold this level around 510 and $520 billion. I think Nvidia has a great chance to not only hold this support level right here, but also to get a reclaim of that level around $100 and $102 to get some more relief into this rolling VWAP crossover around 107. And then after that, also a potential move into 114. Now, obviously, all the price actions right now or all the price action in general for Nvidia is highly dependent on headlines. But given what we know right now in terms of the fundamentals and also what we see from the technicals, I would argue it's most likely that short term we might have some noise right here, some volatility, but that we will be able to reclaim that level at 100 and 102, get back into 108, and then from there, look, like I said, it's very hard to do some more long-term predictions right here. But if the fundamental situation stabilizes, if we see bond yields drop down a little bit more, if we see the volatility index drop down a little bit more, then we can also have that move into the higher regions right now. But like I said, given the current situation, I expect the current support to hold on the higher time frames. Get a fake out below, possibility, but ultimately I expect it to hold unless we actually get, I'd say escalation in the trade wars, but that's almost impossible at this point of time. But I'll keep you updated on this. That's my thoughts on Nvidia for now. Hopefully that helps. If you're interested in more updates, consider subscribing, or join the free Telegram channel we have, in which I also post updates on the S&P 500, Nvidia, gold, whatever is hot at the moment in terms of volume. But that's it for now. So thank you for watching. Have a great evening. Have a great afternoon. Take care and bye.